You can check the description to see how to get 10% off at Speedcube Shop. This was my first sub 10 average in competition, and it was using the GAN Air SM. Although that may be partly due to gravity grip. Anyway, I'll leave that topic for another video. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the good and the bad of the GAN Air SM. So if we're talking about how a cube feels, whether it's the magnets or how smooth it is or how much effort it takes to turn, this is what makes people like cubes the most. And I must say the SM is one of the nicest feeling cubes. Turning this cube is absolutely effortless, and even with its relatively strong magnets and high stability, I have to say that this cube just turns way too effortlessly for what I'd expect. Out of the box, there tends to be very standard color shades on the cubes you see nowadays, and I think one of the nice things about the GAN Air SM is that the colors actually look nicer and have a better contrast than what you see on some of the other cubes. Out of the box, it comes with blue springs and it was tensioned very well. And I think that slightly tighter GAN GES springs would be good, such as the yellow springs and the green springs, but I really like the blue springs and I think that was a good choice that they made. You can see the reverse cutting is really nice and it doesn't suffer from some of the reverse corner cutting problems that the GAN Air UM and the standard GAN Air had. I think that the SM improved on this aspect the most from the UM to the SM. And one thing I love about GAN puzzles is how quiet they are. It has somehow managed to get even quieter, and that has made it even more fun to turn. So this is definitely one of the best cubes on the market right now and one of the most fun to turn in my opinion. So what could possibly be wrong with it? So the review would not be complete without going over the bad things about the GAN Air SM. So one thing I find with this cube is that you need to have a very relaxed turning style. It may be easy to overshoot or undershoot because even though it is so stable, since it is so effortless to complete a turn, even if you are very used to this cube, during a competition you may be feeling a bit differently in your hands, and the changes in the amount of force that you apply to the cube may cause you to overshoot or undershoot. Now I mentioned I got an official sub 10 average, but the very last solve of this was a DNF. And the reason it had to do with some turning at the end, it may be hard to see, but I'll put it in slow motion. I was in the middle of an H permutation, which requires M turns and U turns, and at some point I managed to undershoot an M move, so I didn't completely finish the turn. But since I was going so fast, I didn't realize, and then I just didn't do the last two turns of my solve. However, this isn't all bad though, and GAN does provide a solution to this. Because there is the GAN GES spring system, you can actually choose how tight you want your springs to be, and if you choose to have one of the tighter settings, then this problem may go away completely. Now it does come out of the box with the blue springs, so you will have to change it yourself if you don't want the blue springs installed. So that actually brings me to one really great thing about the SM that is much better than the previous installments of the GAN cubes. I found that with the original GAN Air, the GES system, while it was interesting, was not really useful. I found that only the yellow springs were good, and the green springs were just too loose, and the orange springs were far too tight. Now with the GAN Air UM, they remedied this a bit by adding magnets, which means that looser tensions will be more viable. Now I feel like with the SM they made this even better, and customizing the springs actually does make a difference, and it does make the cube better or worse, just depending on your turning style. So with all this being said, that's why I think the GAN Air SM is one of the best, if not the best cube on the market right now. While it does cost a lot more than a non-magnetic cube or one of the cheaper magnetic cubes such as the GTS2M, I think it does make up for this with more customizability, which means that if you do like one of the spring settings, then you won't have to be experimenting with other cubes, and instead you can just enjoy your SM the way you've customized it. And if you were to get this cube, there's no way you can really go wrong considering so many people have switched to this cube. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about this cube. I personally really like it, and a lot of other people like it as well, but of course other people will provide a lot of valuable information because not everyone is like me. And if you make an informed decision and feel like you want to buy it, then you can buy this cube from the link in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'd really appreciate it if you stuck around for just a few seconds to consider some of these tutorials on my channel. I have tutorials on how to solve one-handed, blindfolded, or just how to get faster in general, including F2L tips, cross tips, how to be sub 20, and basically anything you can think of. See you guys all next time.